All right, guys, we're back. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CMB checking in. And guys, it is post-fight reaction time to the fight last night. Of course, we had Isaac Pitbull Cruz, the WBC 140-pound interim champion. He was putting that interim title on the line versus Lamont the Reaper Roach. Now, before we get into this, I did make a prediction on the fight like I always do. I said that Roach would stop Isaac Pitbull Cruz in round number 9. And I'm sad to say, guys, I got it absolutely wrong on this one. Absolutely wrong. It didn't happen. Matter of fact, the fight was ruled a draw. Now, here's the thing. I've been watching different channels, listening to what the fans have been saying. And of course, there's two camps. There's the camp that said Isaac Pitbull Cruz was robbed, and then there's the camp that says that Roach should have got his hands raised last night. And I'm here to tell you guys, this is my opinion, of course. I think that the draw was the right call on this fight last night. I think that the judges actually got it right. I don't think Cruz was robbed. I don't think that Roach should have got his hands raised in the fight last night. It was a draw. I did score the fight. I did score it. I had Cruz winning rounds 1 through 4 in the beginning. Of course, he had the 10-8 round in round number 3 where he dropped. I think he dropped Lamont with a left hook, if I'm not mistaken. And I also had Cruz winning the championship rounds. I had Lamont winning rounds 5 through 10, and of course, you had the point deduction. I think that was round number 7 where they actually deducted a point from Pitbull Cruz. So that pretty much puts it at a draw. And here's the thing. I think, well, I know if they hadn't taken that point away from Cruz, Cruz would have edged this fight out, in my opinion. I think he would have got his hands raised in the fight. And even though Lamont Roach had the superior skill set, he went in that fight with the wrong game plan. That was why Isaac Pitbull Cruz was able to put so many points on the scoreboard in the beginning of the fight. Roach went in fighting Isaac Pitbull Cruz's fight. Roach went in there and tried to stand toe-to-toe with a brawler. Now, we know Roach knows how to fight on the inside. We know he fights well mid-range. He can fight on the outside. But just because you can fight well on the inside, just because you can stand toe-to-toe with someone, doesn't mean that you should. It doesn't mean that you should, especially when you have boxing ability. This is what you need to do. Only fight like that when, it's necessary or if it's part of a bigger game plan. But you standing toe-to-toe with Isaac Pitbull Cruz, who's a brawler, who's going to throw everything at you but the kitchen sink, who's going to load up on every shot, it doesn't make any sense. And I was so frustrated last night watching Lamont Roach do that. Why would he do that when he has the superior jab? He has the better footwork. He has the longer jab. He's the taller fighter, taller, rangier fighter. Why stand there and let this guy tee off on you? It just did not make any sense. And I think the tide turning was the fact that Cruz tired himself out. I think it was around round number 6. He punched himself out. So then that's when Roach started to make adjustments in the fight. Why wait so late to make those type of adjustments in the fight? Then you started working behind your jab. You should have been doing that in the beginning of the fight, making him miss. I just did not understand the game plan from Roach going into this fight. You're not going to beat Cruz in a brawl. And I can understand, you stood toe-to-toe with Gervonta Tank Davis. You were able to stand there and trade shots with Tank Davis. But Tank and Cruz are different type of fighters. Tank's not a volume puncher like Cruz. He's more calculated with his shots. Cruz is just going to let loose on you. He's like a little battering ram. So you went in there trying to fight Cruz like you fought Davis, and that did not work out for you. It didn't work out for you at all. So you were lucky, in my opinion, that he got points taken away from him in round number 7. You were lucky that he tired himself out. This was an easy fight for Roach. You had two blueprints out there, El Rayo and you had Giovanni Cabrera. Those were the two blueprints how to beat Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and you went somewhere else. You gave him. I would say you made the fight easier for Cruz. You fought Cruz's fight. Never fight anyone's fight. Fight your own fight. Don't worry about what the fans are saying. They're going to say you're running. You're a boxer. Use your feet. Use your angles. Work behind your jab. Your jab was lacking in the whole beginning of the fight. I just not understand why you would stand there and trade with Cruz. You know, it's like, you know, boxing suicide. You just don't do it. So yeah, I was disappointed because I thought that he would fight a smarter fight. I expected a smarter fight from him. But I don't want to take away from what Cruz did. You know, he did his thing. I'm interested in seeing if they do run this back, if Lamont's going to fight smarter this time, because he didn't. He really didn't. This was his fight to win. You know, it was a draw, but I think, you know, he could have got his hands raised if he just used his boxing ability. So yeah, I'm disappointed in him. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think about the fight. Do you think it was a draw? I really do believe it was a draw. But it could have been different if certain things hadn't happened. I think Cruz would have got his hands raised because Lamont Roach was pretty much was giving him the fight, fighting Cruz's type of fight. But you guys let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.